My name is Darius Good. I am the creator of the comic book, David, Man of War. I discovered as a pastor and teacher that most people are not familiar with the stories that are contained in the Bible. And it makes it difficult to highlight certain spiritual truths that are revealed or possibly hidden within these stories. One reason for this is the children's stories many times has been diluted or they've been changed to make it more or less child friendly, but it results in a lot of the important details being eliminated from the stories. And so I created this book, and I do highlight a lot of these minor details within the story. One such detail is David being a shepherd, watching over his father's sheep. He lived in the city or town of Bethlehem. When his father Jesse comes to him, he asks him to travel to Elah, which was a valley, to check on his three brothers who had gone off to war with King Saul. Elah was located about roughly 25 kilometers from Bethlehem, which is roughly about 15 miles. So this means that David, he received the food and the command to go check on the brothers. He travels to the valley of Elah, and when he arrives, this is when he hears the Philistine champion, the giant known as Goliath, that was barking his threats, making daily threats to the nation of Israel. King Saul got himself in trouble by trying to sacrifice, even though he was not a priest. He did not have the legal authority. He was not anointed by God to sacrifice on behalf of the nation. This was one of several things that he had done wrong in his disobedience to God. As a result of this, God chose David as a replacement for the bloodline through which Jesus would come through. When Samuel came to Bethlehem to anoint David, at this point is revealed publicly that God's plan and purpose for David's life is to be king. So even though David is anointed and the will and purpose of God has been revealed, David is in the wilderness still watching the sheep. He's called to be a king, but he's in the wilderness. How does he reach the next place? What is that door that he must go through in order to obtain the promise, in order to step into that next place of elevation, that next place of promotion for his life? It was critical that he left his place. He had to travel to Elah. His place of destination, his place of promise, was a 15-mile journey from where he was. Don't get stuck with where you are. Sometimes the promise that God has made to you, we understand the dreams, the visions, the prophecies that we might have received. But sometimes it might require you to travel. We may not want to go to the neighboring town. We may not want to go to the neighboring state. But that is where your door lies, the door to promotion. The place of elevation might be not where you currently are. And because of this, we miss out on opportunities because we're not willing to travel. Don't get stuck where you are, holding on to a promise, holding on to a word, holding on to a prophecy, when there is a level of obedience that's also required for faith to work. We put all these concepts together, that faith without works is dead, where we're waiting on the assignments, waiting on the instructions from the Lord, so I'll know what the next step is to take. Otherwise, we can die with a promise, we can die with a prophecy, we can die in faith and never obtain what God has promised for us. I pray that this lesson from David will impact your heart, impact your mind, and help us understand the ways of God, how he does things. Check out my website, dariusgood.com, to learn more about this particular comic book. I have several more lessons connected to this book. Make sure you join me next time. Be blessed.